moment on this conference that I went for in Nairobi, when the South African Minister of Transport stood up in the gathering where there are political parties from all over the world, and he said to me, he said, I want to applaud Liberia because your election was so tight, hotly contested, and President Bouakai only defeated President Weah less than 30,000 votes. And yet, President Weah conceded. He said, you people should continue that democracy. I was proud. I'm going to say anyway, therefore, President, we have to concede and keep our democracy on the path it is. It's something, of course, I'm proud of, and I'm happy he did that. I will praise him any day for that, because not many Africans can do that. Look, let's stop all these political norms. When people do something good, praise them. He could have stayed in power like other people. Yes, he could have done that. When President Bouakai discussion that I had yesterday on the TikTok with the issue of drugs. You know, like I said the last time, in order for us to fight drugs, it must be done void of politics. When you try to bring politics into it, then you defeat the actual essence and the reason why we should fight it. Because when you try to bring politics into it, guess what happened? One way or the other, the true message that is supposed to go across, that message will be stalled. You don't fight drugs using political tactics or your political chicanery or your propaganda. So this is the reason why from the very first day we saw Mr. Bouakai going to take his, how you call the thing, drug test, we said that was a charade, that was a deception, and it will amount to nothing good. That's what we said. And some people did not understand us at the time and felt that maybe we were angry, as they can usually say. So they lost election, so they're angry. We have the ability to at least politically dissect and see things and make what we call a very accurate or almost accurate guess of some things, because we've stayed long around. We've seen so many political institutions and observe. So sometimes when we make these guesses or these infers, you know, when we make them, sometimes it is 98% truth. It's always in the 90. So when we saw Bouakai taking on that political approach to think that he can fight drugs, we immediately condemned it from the very beginning and said that this is not a serious approach. This will not amount to anything serious. We said it. Lo and behold, true to what we said, fellow Liberians, we are seeing it today. Drugs in Liberia is on the increase. And this was the number one message that was used by Mr. Bouakai and his people. That when they take over, the issue of fighting drugs will be uncompromising. They will fight it robustly. They will fight it without, favor. They will put their all into it. They will put resources into it. Who told you that Mr. Bouakai and his cronies are not aware of the challenges that we have had in previous? They understand that we have had challenges, even under the United Party government, under the CDC government. So the progress that the CDC government made, they were coming to see how best they can be able to
improve on the progress, and be able to see how best they can, tackle seriously the challenges.
Okay, why all of this time? Even assuming, because I listen to them on their show, Cash Reloaded, the Elite Reloaded, I listen to them saying that the individual in that show is not the minister, it's somebody else. Let's assume they are saying the truth. It is somebody else. That person, do they have passport to rape anyone? Let's assume it's somebody else. That girl in that video, doesn't she deserve justice? Let's assume that's somebody else. That person in that video cannot be arrested and located. A Liberian girl, a Liberian lady is crying. She's grieving. That could be your sister. That could be your daughter. That could be your mom, your wife, your auntie, your grandma. She's crying. But yet, you have a government extremely wholly selective in their fight against rape. So we're just telling you about the report. So I'm telling you why this president has done little or nothing, because he appoints people surrounding him who have the mentality of rapists, who are raping. The issue of rape has increased, and as we speak to you, I'll just give you the number: 2,759. And the link is also in the chat room. You could share the link. You could share it. Now, that's just a report since 2013. And through all our region, you see the data. Whether good or bad, we were publishing, we were reporting. When you report, it suggests that you want to find remedy. You want donors to come in. You want the people to be aware, to be on the alert. You can create hotspots, vulnerability hotspots in the country. You can do a predator map to say, in this community, Jopotan, be careful how you go there, because there are a lot of rapists there. In America, it happens here. You know what I'm talking about. If a rapist comes in your community, he will register so that everyone around there will be on the alert. The reason why people can report is for these purposes. Why our government is failing to report? It is not on their official website. It's just so simple to deduce that because they are condoning rape. They are appointing rapists in our government, and they just feel proud. And it's second means, Prince, it's second means this government is careless about rape because they have rapists all in their government. That's just the simplest reason why they are doing little or nothing to fight rape. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dogbayu. This is really troubling when you look at this report. He's an expert. What is he doing? That is there.
No, there is no money to buy equipment, no money to buy new cars, to buy garbage truck. Prince, when I tell you the United Party broke it, I'm joking. Oh, Prince, no money.
Wow.
I'm deviating the topic. Let me say something very urgent, because it's dear to you. You always flagging the judge something, the judge situation. Prince, reality, new info, new intel in the country. Prince, you believe the new group of the anyone who have in train DEA bosses? Yeah. And they have it. Prince, let me tell the followers here. You remember when they talk, you remember recently the new group, when they got DEA, they arrested a judge in a gallon of oil. You can remember that video?
Yeah.
Prince, that woman, the woman in prison, it will baffle you. Prince, I dare the DEA to carry camera to that person. Everybody know the woman's face. The woman they arrested with drugs recently. Drugs is not bearable. Drugs is not bearable. Rape is not bearable. No prison, no saw visual. Well, that woman not in prison. Prince, that woman. The people that they display in front of the Liberian people. Prince, I want know the DEA put that particular woman. The woman is not in prison. So where is the woman? Just is not bearable. Rape is not bearable according to our law, the law that were passed by the legislature. President George, they passed that law on his watch, not bearable. Prince, it's bad for you. Ask yourself, where is you like to flag the just story? Where is the woman?
You know,
She's not in no prison.
I want to play this video. I want to play this second video, my people. You know, it's good that when we bring you this video, we'll bring you more for you to see it. And I will bring you the recent one, Mark Jabate. I just play you that one. What the people say 6 months. The government not get time to take it there. And if people say they get arrest agenda, sanitation is there, according to the people. Don't maybe somebody will say that other video that we don't want to face the video, that AR video. Maybe somebody will say that AR video. That play the one.
But it's when they see TRT war on there, I don't say that AR. There's not AR.
All right, folks. Today we are here in Pinsfield City, outside of Moserado County, wherein we made a stop by here. As you can see right before you, there is a very huge garbage bin parked here for a couple of times now. And as I learned a days ago when we did.
This carpet needs to be removed. You see that other woman holding your nose? He's actually holding your nose. He's actually holding your nose. And then you telling me, say, I'm supposed to take phone your call. They don't know what they're supposed to do when they collect taxes around.
You witness all of these videos. Does this look like a government that have any strategy to be able to take care of the issue of waste in Liberia? But yet these people boasted yesterday that they have the expertise. So where is the strategy? Or where are those strategies that they have in order to tackle waste? Where's the strategy that they have? Because if you claim that you know it, you must have a defined strategy. That this is what we want to do. We want to do this. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do.
So listen, the second to the last video you just played, right? That video it brings sorrow to my mind. It tells me that the next generation in our country will be born very sick. You can see marketeers, I see people with food on their head. Look, I'm talking about the place in the middle of the road. The second to the last video you played, the YouTube video. Yeah. And that video I was just watching, it was posted, I think 6 months ago. That was 6 months ago, Jake. Look at the video in red light, the center of all marketplaces in Liberia. And you see people in the middle of the road. Where were those people, Burger for Clean City, when Joseph Burger just won election and they said they were cleaning around, they were volunteering, they rescue volunteer people. Where are they? Where are they, Prince Sharif? It was all about showmanship, chest beating, just gallivanting the corridor and noise making. They only wanted to prove that they're not in power, and Joe Weah was flimsy. He now have competent official about the country was dirty. Look at the video you just showed. You see, Mark Jabate has zero competence to serve as assistant minister for urban services. To be an urbanist, you look. Urban science is a science. You go to school. Before getting my second master's, I got 3 different admissions. One was in the University of Chicago at Urbana. I was supposed to obtain my master in urban planning and design. That is a pure STEAM. STEAM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's a STEAM design course. You talk about a Jabate who spent almost 10 years in AMU before getting a degree in political science. You take him and put him as assistant minister for urban affairs with no professional upbringing except carrying on cows. He knows that only to eat cow to Somalia job. That was his condition. Other assistant minister in there. He just because he doesn't have the prescription.
The particular girl that accused my brother of rape has come clean and said that my brother never raped her. It was her mother who forced her to lie on my brother. We've been behind this government to accuse my, to like relieve him of that particular accusations, but we are nowhere, and they are even asking us to pay money to the government. So if we see these things happening before our eyes, it burns us, and because we are female, we are women, we cannot see it to watch these things happening. But again, this is what we have under the Baka-led government when power or rule of law is no longer and ethics when rule of law is abused, when rule of law has been sabotaged. So what I can say is it hurts my heart because not just because I'm a female, but also I'm a mother. Coming up, we were, there are a lot of things that we were introduced to when we were coming up. And some of us, we cannot say we were abused, but some of our friends that we grew up with as, are victims of sexual abuse, of rape. And today, they have not even, healed from the rape or the stigmatization. And today you have people in government raping young women, babies. That is so much, so much disgusting. And what is disgusting? What is disgusting is to see Gogre come on backing a rapist. That is the most disgusting and disheartening thing I've ever seen in my life. Maybe one can say that Gogre Come and Bryant are involved into sodomizing young men because it is alleged that Gogre Come is a rape, is a gay. So it is clear that Brian knows something about Gogre
Thank you.
What he did or what he is doing now is to lead by example by telling people that you normally play that clip. If you steal money, make sure that you get some to the Liberian people. That is okay. That's all you want. As an official, steal money, take some and give back to the community. If you steal 10 million, take 30,000 and share it on the community. The other 9 million and some more, you said only. That is why he says that, once in a government, is that Liberian people voted for? Absolutely not.
Thank you so much. Let's get to our sister, Madam Kroma. Corruption. How does it affect the society? Let's go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me open with what my brother just in there with. When you have a certain president, my people, encouraging corruption, then what will government officials do? What will the citizens do? Because this man stood there and said that if you can see the money and invest in Liberia. So just to tell you that go and see taxpayers' money. After stealing, you keep a portion at your house, and the rest of the money you share it among the citizens. The masses of our country, the downtrodden masses of our country. So, as an elected official, as an elected president before his inauguration, Bwaka started accepting bribe. He started accepting gifts from businesses. This is an act of corruption. No scientist will come from heaven or no angel will come from heaven and tell us that, Bwaka will just be sitting down. A Bwaka of yesterday would just sit down, someone would just bring money and get rid of him. No, because this man told us that he was living alone. So the fact that Bwaka started accepting gifts is an act of corruption. One other one is corruption has become the hallmark of this regime. It is rampant. It is visible in all sectors. Corruption is just like, sorry for the expression, just like a prostitution in our country. Every sector in this country has been affected by corruption, and Bwaka is doing nothing about it. Corruption is also exploiting commercial drivers to register their vehicles, their keke, their motorbikes, and at the end of the day, you restrict them from running on major street without providing them no job opportunity. That is also corruption. You cannot tell me that I should go and register my bike over $100, $100, and at the end of the day, you restrict me from going out to fend for my living. That is also corruption. And corruption is also when you have Amos Swear, the Secretary General of the United Party, taking loan from Finance Ministry without legislative approval. We saw that happening in this country. And Bwaka, he knows about it. The president knows about it. He's aware of it. And he cannot even account, the finance ministry, the prayer bank economy cannot also account for this over 73 million that have been what, just in thin air. So people, oh no way, in Liberia yet. People will just be sitting down in this country. Money that they allocated for a specific purpose will just disappear in thin air. You want to tell me that the president don't know about them? No, he's aware of them. He know exactly what is going on. Corruption is also when you have the CSA boss, Josiah Joker, that comical individual sitting down at the CSA, and telling us Liberians that he has cleaned the payroll but cannot account for 43 million. So the effect of corruption is not only, it's not only affecting our nation's economy, it is affecting us as Liberians. When you have the rate currently, the current rate last month, the rate was down, but we did not see any changes in the market. Everything that they say, oh, the rate now come down. So,
we have been meeting security, guys, have been meeting security chiefs, and our message has not been heard. So we are here today at the UN to especially petition the person who's representing the United Nations in Liberia. There's a very key issue, and we don't want to come and talk to. Sorry, I'm not trying to degrade. I'm trying to tell you why I'm here and who I want to talk to. So can you find a person I want to talk to, or can you tell us whether you're in a position to receive this petition? Tell us who you are.
Head of security.
Petition to the United Nations Office in asking the UN to help stop the sexual abuse of young girls and to make the government protective of children. So the United Nations resident coordinator in
All right, so fellow Liberians, home and abroad, again, we want to use this time to welcome each and every one of you, as usual, under the Palava Hut. We want to appreciate your presence here, as always, and we want to say to you, do us a favor. And that favor that we want you to do us is to kindly hit for us the share button, is to kindly share with friends, share with family members, and let us all have a wonderful discussion today. We're going to be joined by our panelists and others who are going to be with us. We want to use this time to welcome all of you. In a special way, let's take this time off to welcome Bestie, me, and Ska joining us there from the YouTube channel. We want to say thank you so very kindly for your presence. We want to welcome Milton. Thank you so much for joining us there on the YouTube platform. We appreciate your presence. Joseph Kranga, thank you so much, Joseph. We appreciate you, even though you do not agree with us, but and the languages, are very strong. But again, we want to say you are welcome for the fact that you've joined us. We recognize your presence. Thank you for joining us. We want to welcome each and every one of you that is watching us from the King's platform. We want to say you are welcome. Fode Pass Away, how are you? Thank you so much joining us there from Yekepa, Nimba County. We appreciate you. Faha Ahmed, Ami, thank you so much, Ami, for joining us. Hawatote, how are you, Mama? Love you so much. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Emmanuel Bro, how are you? I want to say you are highly welcome, Emmanuel Bro. We appreciate your presence here. It's a privilege for us to have you. We welcome the CEO of Zigo TV, Zico Sando is here with us. We want to say you are welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. David Freeman, we want to say thank you. We appreciate your presence. Fode Passaway, thank you so much for joining us here. We appreciate you. Thank you so very kindly. We want to use this time to recognize Roland B. Yomi, the lead or the moderator, the host there for the Zigo TV in Liberia. We want to say you are welcome, Roland. It's a privilege for us to have you here. Thank you so very kindly for joining us this afternoon. David, we want to say you are highly welcome, David Freeman. We appreciate you. Marie, how are you, Mama? I want to welcome my own lovely mother, my big sister, our everything, our queen, right? The queen of the platform. So, Ma Marie George, thank you so much for joining us. It's a privilege for us to have you. Thank you so very kindly. We appreciate your presence. Thank you so very well. We also want to welcome one of the panelists on the Zigo TV. That is our own brother, Lucini. Thank you so much, my brother Lucini, for your presence here. It's a privilege for us to have you here. Thank you so very kindly, my brother Lucini. We appreciate you. Uh, We want to welcome Kofi Jones. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. Kofi Jones, we appreciate your presence here. Thank you so very kindly. Thanks for your presence here. So, all of you that have joined us, we want to say thank you so very kindly. We will be joined by our panelist in a jiffy. Uh, we will be joined by our panelists in a jiffy, but before that, we want to discuss something which is not on our menu, but I believe that is important for us to talk about. It's very important for us to talk about it. Even though, some of these things, somebody will say, you're not serious. Don't give these people credence. But it's important sometimes we take the time off to talk about these things because these are some of the happenings we have in Liberia. Sadly, these are some of the people that make the news. And we just have to talk about it. We cannot ignore it at all. We can't ignore it. So let's have a wonderful time. Let's have a good discussion. Huh? Yeah, let's have a wonderful and a very great discussion. Let's let's do this together. Let's do it together. Yeah, let's do this together. Let's do this together. So I'm trying to find what I'm supposed to find here, and then we can start to talk about what we are supposed to talk about. So again, as usual, we ask you to hit for us the share button, share with friends, share with family members, so that all of us have a wonderful time. Those of you that joining us from all the other platforms, we want to say thank you so very kindly. Those of you that joining us from on, X, we want to say thank you so much. Those of you that joining us from Instagram, we want to say thank you so very kindly. So as usual, hit for us the share button and let's have a wonderful time. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your presence here. Thank you so very kindly. So at this time, we want to go backstage and as we welcome, our co-host in persons of the Honorable Randolph Masekwe Dugwayu. Honorable Dugwayu, how are you, Chief?
Well, we're doing very well, my dear brother Prince Sharif. We're doing very, very well today. We are so happy to be in your studio very soon. We're gonna put the video on. Today is Monday. It's always a corporate Monday. It's always a crazy
Definitely.
Monday. It's always a disturbing Monday. I'm out mostly in the field here working
Yeah.
with some farmers and engineer trying to do um, and some environmental health and safety safeguard and safeguarding the environment, safeguarding the food we eat, the energy we generate, ensuring that everything is sustainable. So After school, I'm on my fellowship to get my fees paid. My second master was a tough journey, so as part of my arrangement, I should have a 1 year engagement with some farmers and some engineer working in the field. It's just part of the normal routine. So mostly when I'm out in the field, it's tough issue. So you already know the drill. But bro, we are here to do what we ought to do best. We are here to inform the Liberian people. Very interesting topics we have learned up today. So we beg your indulgence to just do us a favor. Just press the share. Our work is to disseminate the information in the circumference in the presence of reasoning, logic, and nationalism. That's the disco we bring. That's the disco we have. That's the disco we intend to have with you, not a disco based on deception, not a disco based on lies and dishonesty, but it is a disco grounded in real reasoning, in a duty to your country. So that's why we are here. It's a brand new week, gradually. We're going to the end of the month and then the end of the year subsequently. And then, of course, every day that passes, every second, every minute, every hour, every month, it brings us closer to the time we will judge Joe Bouaka for his colossal failure against the state. So every day that passes is a joy for us. It should be a joy for any well-meaning Liberian because it brings us to the end of a bad rule by a group of people who just know how to steal, lie, and initiate dishonesty. So thank you. I'm glad to be on the show this afternoon in Liberia.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Duwayu. And again, fellow Liberians, we just want to re-echo. You can do us a favor, hit for us the share button, invite as many persons as you can invite, and let's have a wonderful time together. Let's have a wonderful time. Ben Williams, we want to say thank you so much for joining us. It's a privilege for us to have you here. I know we have several issues lined up on the agenda today, which we are going to straightly jump into. Last week, there was a disturbing news at the, I think, Martha Totman Memorial Hospital in Nigeria. I stand to be correct on the hospital name.
Yeah,
The
that's
name
it.
of
That's the Matatadman Hospital.
okay, the Martha Totman Hospital. There was a disturbing news at the Martha Totman Hospital where uh, information that we gather was that an unknown individual walked in the hospital, dressed in disguise, took the child, a newborn baby, from a lady who has just given birth,
Yeah.
left from that particular building, and that individual left with the child. And there was this particular, kind of outcry by the citizens of the county and also the hospital authority. And as they intensify their search, we got an information that the child was found. But then this child, not only that this child was found, but the location that this child was found in. From what we gather, that the child was found in the residence of the senator of Nigeria County in persons of Zoe Emmanuel Penham. And it was of concern because there are allegations that this is not the first time. In fact, there are people who have accused the senator of doing some, dubious deeds in the county. And looking at this particular issue, a baby just got missing in less than no time to only be discovered at the residence of the senator raises series of concern. Honorable Dubayu, what is going on? What is your take, or what are your takes, when it comes to this issue of the child missing, where he was found, and etc., etc.? Let's hear from you, sir.
Okay. So, firstly, let's say that we are grateful to God Almighty that the child has been found. That's the most important thing. So, in the code of competent jurisdiction, there's something they call the fast. The fast and the issue, you can't change these things. So, the issue here, like you clearly articulated, a child was missing at the Matatame Hospital there in Zwedru, and the hospital is somewhere there I think Baswa Hill, either Baswa Hill or Kula Baba, one of these places. But whatever the case is, it happened in Zwedru. And the few things: one, it was alarmed by the Ministry of Health, and of course validated by the lady whose child was missing. The first major issue that I think the government authorities should have done up to this time, it is a neglect of function, is a validation that you neglect your duty. Every hospital has securities, and there are layers of the hospital before you go in. You meet somebody, you sign. Where were all these people when somebody bulldozed and took the child? These are the first questions that come to mind, Ms. Prince Sherry. You are a security man. That's the biggest hospital in the entire county. That hospital was where I was born, in that hospital in Zwedru. So we know the hospital is heavily guarded. The hospital has security guards. So the first issue before going to the child being found, let's first discuss how the child was missing. How in this world a hospitals, as we know, they are heavily guarded. Hospitals, like we know, should be heavily guarded. We know hospitals are not places that people just walk. So where was the family member of this lady? Where was the security? Where was the nurse on shift? The head doctor on shift? Where were everyone that a ghost would just walk? That a ghost who has no influence? That a ghost who is not connected? That if there is no conspiracy here, that everything happened, out of reality, where in this world? That a hospital of all places, that a baby, very young baby, take that baby on what conditions, and then how did the person walk away with the child? Did you walk from the compound, get on motorbike, car? These are preliminary questions. But the question now to what you just raised, it has been alleged, but information given by the police, and of course other citizens of Grand Judea, when the incident happened, people started, investigation was launched. Because a former election commission of Grand Judea was missing. After donor.
Sure.
After donor in similar form and manner. The current superintendent, and others, they know the story. Alleges open was linked. So what that has happened, when this happened, the citizen did not take it lightly. The citizen opted to go one step further. So a mayor hunt was initiated, and everyone started being security on security. So yesterday, after almost 24 hours of the child missing, few things that have been stated. So the police, according to police sources, that the child was found and brought to them on a motorbike. Now that motorbike has a license plate, and we trace the license plate. It belongs to one Sonny Boy Jerome. Sonny Boy Jerome, he is the one who back was used to retransport the child to where they found the child, in a vicinity that is alleged to be the office space in the home of Zoe Manupeno. Interestingly, my dear brother, this Sonny Boy guy who owns the motorbike, this Sonny Boy guy who, said whose bag was used to transport the baby to a lady in a yard of Zopeno, this guy is an ardent, new, and unrepentant supporter of Zoe Manupeno. Beyond the motorbike being for him, beyond the motorbike being found beyond the motorbike being transported to bring the child in the yard, this guy is a known supporter, like the way you say Prince Sherry, everybody knows he's a sedition. So why is it after this child is missing? Nobody know how the child was taken from the hospital, but we know how the child came back. So the question now is, who took the child? Where did you get this child from? Who passed the child over to you? And on what arrangement was made for Sonny Boy motorbike to be used as a vehicle to transport the child? And this child wasn't transported to the police station. This child wasn't transported back to the hospital. But in a community that has
a close association with Zopeno. He a community alleged as per the information we gathered from the police. This is the police I'm quoting from the information we gather from sources my good friend and brother in fact Sylvester Cry has posted, and other, key ingredients have posted. And so we are now asking these basic questions. How was the child found? What communications were made that made this son guy that got linked with so to use as motorboat to transport the child, and the child go be passed over in a yard that has an association with Zoe Manuel Peno? These are the million dollar questions. The next step of the conversation will be now, why is Zoe Peno all of the time? Why is Zoe Peno? Why his name is always in tango? Why his name is always surrounding clandestine, behaviors? Now, I'm not trying to accuse Zoe, yeah, but giving all of these information, giving the background that I just laid, consistent with the information we receive from sources, and it has been all on social media. There was a blog yesterday that posted that said the child was found in Zoe Peno house. So for me now, as a politician, I would say maybe, because there was a clip where Zoe Peno saying a bad talk for baby mother. So maybe you go bad talk, we don't know. But it is only Zoe now who can tell what the child was doing in his compound. He needs to deny or admit. A statement has to be made by Zoe Peno, because this is getting out of hand. It is scary that a baby, a very young baby, mysteriously lost from the hospital. The next day, the child reappears in a compound supposedly that has link with Zoe Manuel Peno, a senator of a major county. To this point, no statement from his office. This is something we need to take further, fellow Liberians. This is war of politics. We're talking about a baby here carrying his mom belly for 9 months. This mother stay on anguish, pain. The pain of bearing a child was still fresh upon her. Welcome, Pastor Sose. The pain of bearing a child still fresh upon this lady. And mysteriously, in less than 24 hours, few things have emerged. This child was found. We don't know up to now. The police have not stated yet where the child was found. But the police have said that the child was delivered in a yard belonging to Zoe Peno. The motorbike that transported the child back belongs to Jerome Sonibo. Jerome Sonibo is an ardent supporter of the Zoe Peno movement for development. So now you look at it and do the analysis. Child is missing midnight. What happened to the security? Nobody is telling us where were the securities. Could there be an influential person who bribed the security that the child got missing? At the time hospital, Pastor Susan only has a close association with Grange there. He knows that hospital, if I'm not mistaken. He may have gone to that hospital, if I'm not mistaken. The hospital is located on a hill. It's located on a hill. I was born in that hospital. And before it used to be the end of the town, but right now Grange has expanded. That hospital almost like in the middle of the town right now. So how can a ghost just walk in a hospital, a protected environment, and takes a baby? In less than 24 hours, the baby resurfaces. Now, in conclusion, let me say this. That baby needs to be, in my mind, taken to Morovia for further, medical examination. Because within that 24 hours when the child was missing, what was the child eating? What was the child eating? Where did the child sleep? Now, we are Africans here. So we don't know what spiritual ritual has been, said over that child. So that child needs two things. That child needs spiritual cleansing, and that child needs thorough medical examination. Because we don't know what went on. And now the police too needs to go further and ask further question. How is it the child was found? It wasn't delivered to the police station, but around Zoe Peno's office and his compound. How is it the motorbike that was used to transport the child back registered in the name of Zoe Peno's supporter called Sonny Boy Jerome? These are basic questions we try to ask as citizens of Grange there, because this is scary. Our county name, if it's now election commission losing, if somebody living in the bush, is like
farmers, you must see people coming and taking farm. It is baby getting missing. A few days ago, we saw again. It said somebody gave child breath with I think we either dog or pig. This is embarrassing.
Pig.
This is embarrassing for us. And so this one, when our senator name is linked, he should not make a statement and go further to clear his name, clear his side of the story. That is where I can conclude for now.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you so much. Pastor Success A.B. Dennis again, welcome. This
Thank
is
you.
the news that we have gathered from Grand Jide, which is very disturbing. What is your take, sir?
So I have not done a deeper, or follow up on this child issue, but I do know the child got missing like a day or so, in the biggest hospital so far in Grand Jide County in Zwedru, and it was reported. It was reported that a child was found around the Kula bypass. I don't know how true it is. If the child was found around Kula bypass, that's a very good distance though from the hospital to Kula bypass. Is a very good distance. So the what Orlando was saying, Zoe is being implicated by other Grandidians. They are saying, oh, the child was found around Zoe Penal compound. The child was transported to the hospital through Zoe Penal, supporters and so on. And Africa, right? Africa. So people now try to link the senator into it. Right now, he is on a moral obligation now to come and clear his name and say, oh no, maybe the child was transported because my people saw that the child was found and the child needed transportation, so we made bag available. Whatever it is, he had to say something about it. But all prints, it's just getting more like terrible every day. Time to think about it. Hospital during those days, praying, they were the most. Even if you left the hospital open and you went home, people were so afraid to even enter a hospital, like churches, like malls, to carry on any clandestine act during those days. What are those days today? That people are so brave that they can go into a hospital and take a baby and go, do away with the baby for reason best known to themselves. It's scary. It's scary, right? It's scary. So Joe being the senator, and even if Joe was not implicated, Joe is the senator of Grand Jide County. I think he's the senior senator, right? And if he is the senior senator of Grand Jide County happening in your county, you should claim your concern. You should call the Minister of Health to answer why this kind of thing are happening. Call the hospital or administrative team. Who are the nurses that were in charge of that baby? Who were the male wife that conducted the delivery? Who are the doctors that were looking after those the baby? There are many questions that need to be answered, and we expect people that so pain to be champion that right now because he is the center of the county. Right. So now hearing from him at this point in time, I think it raises some level of that cloud, and I think it's not good for our senator. He needs to come out. Many times people will say, oh, you're the Grandidian, you're in Zoe and they and that. I'm like, look, it's Zoe have an opportunity to say that himself, but he should say diligently. Right? These are things we expect our senator to get the Zoe, the commons, and the rest of the lawmakers. I think here is in the God district, right? It says in Mama Johnson district or it's in the way his name.
Sokan. It's Sokan district.
It's Sokan district, right?
Yeah, that
What's
district
Sokan is saying? What's Sokan is saying? All right. So then in Grand the other day some other country activity they were dancing all around the place. Now your baby is getting missing from your district in the hospital. Come on. You might have something to say. And Joe should be championing our cause because he is the senior senator of Grand County.
Thank you. We want to welcome the honorable, chair, Honorable Yahaya Talata Sharif. He is the, the chair of CDC USA Interim Administration of Unity. Want to say you're highly welcome. Want to welcome Josephine Campbell, Nina Quia, Lucini. Thank you so very kindly. Ave JJ Peters. Want to say you're highly welcome. Thank you so very kindly. Ben, we appreciate you. In this issue of this missing child, there are a lot of things that you can deduce from here or you can take from here. The first thing is it points to the government's own carelessness relative to how she handled health in Liberia. This is an indication that Liberia, as far as the government is concerned, does not exist when it comes to health. Because this is not something that is strange. Even right at the level of the JFK, John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital, that place is so poorly managed in terms of security to the extent that anybody can go down there and just do anything and walk away. That's how terrible it is. Now, what that happened at the Martha Totman Memorial Hospital in Grange tells you that the government does not care about health. Because if the government cares about health, the first thing that we will see at every, especially a public facility, this is not a private facility now. Let's get it clear. This is a public facility. What we are going to see is a robust security team assigned at every government institution. But if these things are happening at a renowned public hospital in Grange, the number one referral hospital in that entire Grange, if it is happening, then it tells you that the government is not even concerned about the issue of health. They're not concerned. They're not concerned. Because even the security that are at the hospital, they should be paid by government. From information that we have gathered, in that particular hospital, they have just a single one security, which is comical. To have one security taking care of an entire hospital, it's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible at all. According to the information that we have gathered, just one person, one security. In fact, the security that is even there, go there, sometimes because he wants to go there. Because from what we have gathered, for the past 4 months, according to him, he has not been paid. So what happened is that some people that will come visit their family member, when he's near the door, you will get him late in, then you pass and you go see your family member. When you come in, you get him late in. That's how the security has been surviving, according to the information that we have gathered. Now, this is just to tell you how poor our health sector is. If the place cannot even be adequately protected by security, then leave alone the drugs. So if they can walk in the hospital and take whole baby, whole child, then think about the drugs. No, just think about the facility. I just want you to think about it. If somebody can walk in a hospital and take a child from in that particular hospital, then tell me, is that a hospital? Some of the most secure places that you can find or supposed to be are medical facilities. And highly restricted too. But if people can walk in that hospital, then tell me some of the terrible things that have been going on there. Just imagine. That's why it tells us. You are looking at the budget. Joseph Newman Boyka budget alone is sufficient enough to pay for all 4 good hospitals in that particular country. But when you look at the allocation for the hospitals, they are all chicken change. They are peanuts. A professional Uber driver can make that money within a period of 1 year. In this particular country that we live, they don't care about the health facility. So it is not strange The second issue here is that it is unfortunate. You can know that this particular case has even been compromised before even we call in the name of Zoe Emmanuel Peno. Because by now, the hospital should be briefing us that the place that child was found, that there are some individuals that are currently in the custody of police undergoing some level of investigation.
Exactly.
How it's
Exactly.
supposed to be.
Exactly.
Where the child was found by now, there are people who are supposed to be at the police now answering questions. Waiting the child go do there in simple English. Waiting the child go do there. The man who even transported the child, that man now should be in the custody of police, and we should be getting a kind of, a fresh update. A fresh update. But unfortunately, from report that we have gathered, Zoe Emmanuel Peno is also using his influence as a senator to tell the authority there, hey, just stand down. Just stand down. The most important thing is we have found the baby. No, that is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that how the baby go to your house. That person is not crazy. No, that person is not crazy to just take a baby from a hospital, leave from the hospital vicinity, and go straight to your residence to carry the baby there. We are not fools around here. Furthermore, we are Africans. We will not pretend like we are people that don't know what happened in Africa, especially when elections are approaching, or especially with our lawmakers. We know some of the clandestine activities that these people carry on. And especially with Zoe Emmanuel Peno that have been, involved in all of this kind of, Koyokaya thing and all kind of Koyokaya news been coming up. I remember in May of 2026, there was an allegation
2026 or
of, 2024.
Yeah.
There was an allegation of an 82 years old man that was the disappearance of a 90 years old man in Grangeda County there. According to the information that we gather, that this 82-year-old man identified as John Ware, was involved in the mysterious disappearance of one, Peter Flan. And from what we gather, this particular guy by the name of John Ware had a very strong connection with the same Zoe Emmanuel Peno.
Oh.
The same Zoe Emmanuel Peno. Now, let me bring this information for you all to see it. Let me bring it right here and put it here so that you guys can be able to see. Here is it right here. Where is it? Here's the information.
Wow.
There's the information right here. So this particular guy who was linked to this particular disappearance of this particular Peter Flanger, this 82 years old man by the name of John, it was alleged that this man have a very strong connection. In fact, he was one of those that was actually, heading the campaign team of Zoe Emmanuel Peno. And according to information that we gather, that this particular Peter Flan just disappeared mysteriously. Only for them to, do a vigorous research and search around. At the end of the day, this particular Peter Flan was able to confess. Sorry, John Ware was able to confess that, oh, yeah, and the man, that my friend were together, but I know, and where he go and where he go. Up to today, as we speak, this man was taken from the prison, and according to what we gather, he is now in Ivory Coast. Through the influence of Zoe Emmanuel Peno. They took him from the prison, and he is in Ivory Coast. So it is concerning for one person named to just be in all the kind of koyokaya thing. Every time there is a missing person, every time somebody is missing, it is surrounding around Zoe Emmanuel Peno. What is going on? And it's unfortunate that up to now, Zoe Emmanuel Peno have not come out to even say a word. A word. Let's even agree that it happened yesterday. The baby was found yesterday. But what happened today? That there have not been a single statement from Zoe Emmanuel Peno. We are here. I don't know whether maybe he has said a word, but I've been searching before coming on, and I've not heard or even seen any post of Zoe Emmanuel Penham saying anything about such. This is concerning. You as a lawmaker, for this kind of act to just continuously be surrounded around you. If it is not Zoe here, that's Zoe there. If it is not Zoe there, that's Zoe. This is scaring. This is really, really scaring. This is scary. It means our people are not safe.
No,
It means the security of our people is seriously compromised, because that should be one of the places that should be very, very secure. Very, very secure. The hospital, it's not all areas that you just go there and just anything just happen there. No, it's very secure. People are even careful with the way they go to the hospital, go and visit other people and stuff like that. But again, this is just to tell you that the Boeka-led administration doesn't care about the health of our people. All they care about is filling up their pockets. But again, it is sad. We hope that Zoe Emmanuel Pena will be able to speak to this issue, because this is not the first, this is not the second, this is not the third. There are so many instances that people have accused him, and it is becoming scary on a daily basis. We are Africans. I am not saying that these things are very common among us. No. I'm not saying that this is what we practice. No. But we have the ability to be able to see these things, and over. There are some people who are devilish everywhere for that matter. Even at the most secure place that you can ever think about, some of these things happen. So we need to start to question these people and ask the hard question. Let's go to Honorable Dogbayu for 30 seconds as he closes us on this missing child.
My brother, we've said it a lot and nothing much to be said. It's alarming. We are not here, looking for witchcraft, looking for harming. No. We are here in empathy with a lady whose child is missing, whose child was found. And I'm concerned about the future of that child. Where did the child sleep? What did the child eat? How is the well-being of that child now? To be honest with you, it's something that, as a father of 2 kids, I imagine my child getting missing from the hospital. The hospital is a sacred place. Hospitals are sacred places. So if a baby can get missing from over there, imagine how many other sick people, helpless people, how many people who can talk, bobo, and other people, baby who can cry, baby that can cry and make noise. Especially a very young baby that they can make noise.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody being brave, taking that baby, walking with the baby, and nobody sees you. That tells you the security of the state is vulnerable. That's no politics. That's no politics. Let's assume so it's not even attached. I mean, just for the sake of this conversation. The fact that a baby will get missing from your hospital is a bad signal for our country. Very bad signal. That just the security risk aspect of it that really it scares me. And as a person speaking here to you, more than 80% of my biological family members are in Zwedru. And in Nigeria, that's the biggest hospital. And people getting missing there, you say this doesn't concern me. I'm concerned about the well-being of people who grew up together, my family members. Today is that woman, tomorrow it could be anybody. And I don't want the lady to stop there. If she doesn't have the voice, we will speak for her. We need investigation. Our child needs to be taken to hospital. Now it is government responsibility because that was government hospital. That's government's facility. That lady can sue. There must be right now, they need to take that baby to go do the hearing test, the sight test, the voice test, the test for the sincerity due to their feelings. To do mental stability test, you can do everything to know what a child is Saka. All of these parameters needs to be, assessed on that baby. And scientific notification must be given. A test to that the child is okay, and in the future, nothing will happen to this child. Or if something contrary, the government should take the blame for what happened to that child in the future. Because right now we're only seeing the baby now. The baby can talk. You don't know whether the baby is a Saka right now. You don't know whether something has been deposited in that child that will germinate later and become a breeding.
Sure.
I mean, and these are the real concerns here, and these are issues that I think we need to flag beyond this platform. We need to make this a priority. That's a baby. That baby could be president of Liberia. You just don't know. So that's how I can conclude for now on the topic.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dogwayu. Yeah, the sources AB Dennis, let's hear your conclusion on this issue, sir.
I mean, we can't say much than we have said already. The thing is, like you and Ronald already said, but I know it's not one of the elephant from the Sapo National Park that walked with that child back to the hospital. No, the child was taken on the back. So the first land, of course, we don't know who took the baby. We don't know where the baby came from. We don't know where the baby were, all those stuff. The first land of contact was the man who took the child back to the hospital with the bag. Hey, my young man, where did you get the child from? Oh, I saw the child beyond, one or tunnel or one city or one maybe Peter house in Kulababa. Okay, let's go there. Mr. Peter, yeah, this is a house here. They found the baby at the back of your house. Do you have anything to say towards it? Do you have an idea? Then you beginning, some level of inquiry to know how that child left the hospital. Because there must be a root cause to it. But if we find the child, it is the end point of this entire issue that it raises a serious concern. Then we have to start asking ourselves the question, how come or why? Or if the child was, okay, let's turn it around. Let's assume the child was adult, open child, the child was Representative Johnson child, the child was Wayne or Jeremiah Sokin child, that child was the superintendent of Grand County child, and that child leaves the hospital, that child is born today. Is that how they're going to handle it? Is that how they're going to handle it? No. They will put you far beyond where it is right now. Because why? There's some kind of elite child name has been mentioned, so something should be done about it. But when it comes to the ordinary Liberian, no one cares. No one cares.
Thank you so much. And I will end by saying this. It is unfortunate that we've not even gotten a single statement from the chief medical doctor of the JFK, or the health ministry, sorry, the health minister, not
But
even
Prince,
a
you're
single
right. Prince, let me get you corrected. You're right on that. It's the COM, the chief, the CMO, rather, the chief medical officer of the hospital. The person, they are the administrator. It starts with them. They should come up and make a statement. Let the health minister get involved and so on. So
Sure.
you are right on that.
It's even surprising that the health ministry of the Republic of Liberia have not issued a single statement, because this is not just about Grand Jide. This is about the safety of our health facility. This is not just the safety of that particular child. It's about the safety of every individual that work in a hospital in the Republic of Liberia. So to see that up to now, the health minister of the Republic of Liberia, or those that are concerned in the health sector, they've not issued a statement, then this is alarming. Then it means that these people don't care. So it's Grand Jide. Oh yeah, it happened in Grand Jide. So that Grand Jide thing, they put talking there. Oh, that Grand Jide thing, it will happen there. So just think about other areas. In Grand Cape Mount, for example, in Lofa, for example. So it means that worse things are happening and nobody even care. The only reason why we are talking about this was because the community got together and said, no, this must stop. It cannot be. We make noise about it. We make noise about it. In fact, when the incident happened, it was the next day that it got so serious, because the community dwellers, they got concerned and said, this is, something we can't take no more. Like Honorable Randolph Dogba, you were saying, we need to go just beyond finding this child. There is a motive. Every crime that is committed, there is a motive behind that particular crime. So we need to find out the motive behind why that person went to that hospital, collected that child. So it's not just about finding the child. No. Finding the child doesn't stop there. That is just the first step to digging deeper. Because if care is not taken, think about some of these children. Now, this person in the hospital, they brave to go and take this child from there. What's about these children that are playing in the community? I mean, these children who are not at hospital in the evening time, that parents go on the farm and they just playing all around the place. Let's just think about some of these parents that do not even have the means to even say, let's make noise for journalists to come in or for press people to come in. And their children are in the yard playing. We all know in the interior how our people live. In the morning, our people will go hustle, they go on the farm. Sometimes they leave the kids home with either maybe the elderly one and they all playing in the place there. So if these things can happen to hospital, then think about in the yard where we don't have security. But it is scaring, and I hope that the government will be able to issue a statement and dig deeper into this. This is not only concerning Nigeria, but this is concerning the Republic of Liberia and how vulnerable our health facilities, are. So I hope that we take note on this and we call on government to dig deeper into this and to bring those who are responsible, before the law. But again, sometimes we ask ourselves, can this really happen in Liberia? Does Mr. Joseph Numa Boyka has the energy to be able to ensure that these people are brought before the law? So, sometimes we say this thing, but we ourselves too, we can ask ourselves questions. The paper here is Syria, you can bring the paper where can bring law. But again, we just hope and pray that the necessary questions are asked and they are answered by the government, sadly. But we are not setting whether anything will come from out of this. No, we are not setting. But again, that's where we find ourselves. Now, Honorable Dobayu,
Yes, sir.
the front page Africa have given out a report, which something that all of us have raised before even the front page Africa publication. Mr. Boyka attended a program where he dedicated some 30 vehicles. And in the statement made during his, whether presentation or whatever, he made a statement that this particular buses were brought in by ABK and loan was taken from the Echo Bank to facilitate the importation of these buses. Before all of these that were alleged or that were said, by the president, we did not hear of anything from other, the PPCC relative to the procurement of these buses. Nothing from the Honorable House as it relates to other discussing the merits and etc of these buses that were brought in. Nothing of such. This was not a public discussion. We just woke up one morning and say, oh, buses are in the country. Before we go to president say that Echo Bank get the money. ABK, thank you. What is going on? And from the report that we are looking at here, from the front page Africa, it is troubling because there are a lot of questions that have been raised by front page Africa. A lot of questions. And to just, if I will quickly just read, what we have here before you can come in quickly. I'm going to read this, my people. Let me just read this quickly for us, where it talks about the call for transparency. It says, while many Liberians have welcomed the new buses, viewing them as long overdue relief to the country strained public transport system, the financial disclosures have triggered a wave of questions. This is welcoming, but we need clarity. How was the procurement conducted? What is the source of the funds? Is the financing a loan? If so, at what interest rate? Asks Abraham Colley, a legislative staffer who attended the program. Colley wants to know the financial obligation, including interest and fees, profit margin of ABK Incorporated, earning, and whether the legislature was made aware or asked to approve the financing agreement. During the dedication, President Boyka stated that EcoBank is financing some of the administrative projects, including the yellow earth moving machines. The revelation has heightened public interest in whether the bank is also providing financing for the buses and on what term. Thus far, key parties to the contract have remained silent about the financing structure behind the deal. The public is demanding detailed explanation from the NTA, Ministry of Finance, Development Planning, and the executive branch. With millions of dollars in taxpayer resources committed, citizens insist on full clarity about how the funds were secured and the terms under which they will be repaid. Honorable Dobayu, people are raising these concerns, these questions. Let's hear from you. Is it fair enough, or people just want to be political here?
Yeah. Before we go into that, firstly, there's a video in our chat room showing the interior, how this ball looks like. Then I'll get to the technical specification, then I get to the PPCC amendments from Page Africa and give him a conclusion. Play that video. There's an analysis I want to make, but it's attached to that video.
Okay.
It's a video that I want Liberians to see how this bus looks like. Inside the bus, that we signed $3.9 million concession in darkness. Inside those buses, $3.9 million. 3.9 million.
Okay. So let's just get it here. Okay. So here is it.
So there's expand it. Yeah. There's something inside that bus. I want you to play it, but I want Liberians to look at Kenny. Right? If you look in that bus, Pastor Success, what do you see in that bus? Wait. It's playback. Playback. Now, if you look in that bus, you see fan, blue fan, like the fan you see hanging in your living room or in Douala or other places. You see the blue fans? The blue small fans in that you can just install when somewhere very hot. Here install type of fan. See inside the car, see the spacing. See, just look at the seat and look at the interior. The seat, you can see is a seat that will even easily compress. You see fan in this modern town now. Having shown that, let me say this: was a $3.9 million, 35 buses. If you divide 3.9 million by 35 buses, we talk about 111,000. That's why they buy each of these buses. Look at one of these buses and see whether it worth 111,000, Prince.
Wow.
Now, I just try to be logical. If you look at Front Page Africa report, they have the contract. That contract substantiates and validates whatever claims in the that is in the newspaper. They say 35 buses, 1 year contract. That contract ends next year. It starts now, it ends the entire next year, and subject to terms and conditions. Now, they say who all signed? Those who signed are Minister Gafuan and then Edmond Ford. Edmond Ford is the managing director for NTA. Gafuan, of course, he is the chief disbursement officer of Liberia, which is the finance minister. Osho Toya of Ministry of Justice and the guy from Central Bank, they signed. And the other guys too, they signed on behalf of their company. So this particular contract was notarized since March 2025. Almost 9 months ago or so, the public is not aware. No publication was made. No intent for transparency whatsoever. So initial payment, Liberian government will made 500,000 from government. It will be coming from government budget every year. They did not say the money will come from the generation of revenue, even though they'll be collecting revenue. But the pressure is not going back on NTA because NTA is autonomous. They collect their own revenue. So what will happen with the money that they will collect? Now it's coming back on government. It's a stress on government. Government will pay this quarter, the 4th quarter. So $1.7 million, it will cover the quarterly payment. And each payment is I think they say 430,000 from January.
Yeah, 430,000.
In year one. Yeah, in year one. In year two, the amount of $7.2 million we pay. This includes another 4 quarter of $430,000 through December 2027. That's what it says. Now, let's get to the internal
and technical specification as to how this car look. And I mean, they said while Labrador is receiving 35 Theta mass transit buses,
You,
62
you want me
seater.
to read what we have on the front page Africa, or you were just
No,
sending?
I get it. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
got it. It's a
Okay.
2-seater Theta mass transit bus.
Yeah.
So it's a Cummins B180 Euro, 2 engine, 6-cylinder diesel, 4S cam and braking system, the ABS anti-roll bars, a dual passenger doors, and then 350-liter fuel tank. The amount of fuel that can go inside is 350. 20-minute transit buses, which is 19-seater. These trucks are Euro 2 diesel engines. High roof design and designed for short distance mobility. Key word there.
Yeah.
Short distance.
Short
You see,
distance
government,
mobility.
we'll be going Maryland. The car technical specification says a short distance. Just for runtime. And they lying to us that they know transportation. There's a car that they're not even supposed to run 24 hours a day because it's short distance. It was not made to withstand tension. So now government is planning to run this car 24 hours a day. In the end, maybe for the 2 years and for finishing paying all of the money, these cars will be broken down. It happened before. The next thing I want to stress is, despite all of these things, look at the Lexus, Joseph Walker Lexus, the 2.something Lexus. So one car alone can cover just one of the Lexus Joseph Walker got, I think 2 or 3 Lexus. When you combine the prices of the 3 Lexus, it's far more than what you buy for the entire country. And you want us to give you tea and bread, give you glamour, give you ice, give you ice cream. In fact, using the 3.9 million, we're paying interest. We're paying interest. You just receive 200,000 free money from Asylum into a signature bonus. You could not take that money and go buy your boss cash and don't put liability and financial burden on the country. You go and say EcoBank did the financing. In the entire agreement, we don't see EcoBank there. Did you see EcoBank in this agreement? But they came to the citizen and say EcoBank. We got the contract, we're looking at the contract, nothing says EcoBank. Acute criminality. Acute criminality. So, my dear brother, this is frustrating. This is extremely disappointing. This is extremely disappointing. The Baka Law Administration is not yet to rescue. The Baka Law Administration is yet to steal. And these are things that they do to steal. You go and buy boss, you put blue fin inside. Processors, you live in Iowa, Des Moines. Look, Des Moines, Iowa. Look at that, the Des Moines Iowa Transit Authority buses. You got in that bus, you won't sleep. They got toilet.
You think you want to sleep? I slept in that bus before I slept.
Right? It's like a plane, the configuration in this age and time. Joseph Boga car worth over $3 million. See the car that the former Cameroon minister bought. The former Cameroon minister car and he made him resign. That car. And you're spending $100,000+ on one car, and that car doesn't have air condition. Are you telling me the citizens are not good enough to feel air condition? I mean, let's put politics aside me. Let's put politics aside for 1 second, Prince. Are you telling me you could not purchase a bus that have air conditions, and you have to go install fan in that fan? This is disgusting. Fellow Liberians, this is not politics. This is reality. You buy bus, and the specifications say these buses can go long distance. So I don't even know whether you go Kema, then people talking about Maryland. Why these people like to lie? They think we all stupid around here. You just lie to us. The bus technical specifications say it's just for short-term mobility, short distance. Not me. So my dear brother, this is the library we have. This is what other of us all have. You can't get Kasali to go to say keep it, you're wasting your time. There are some things that are just impossible. If you want to have blood, an O+ like I am, and they say they may need blood for survival. If I dare, I'll give blood because my blood are universal blood type. But Craig is your neighbor, and that's the only person you get it, you will die. Joseph Burger is who he is. He can give us nothing other than what he's giving us. Cheapness, disingenuous, lack of compassion, insensitivity. He's a Craig in the blood. See the man whom in Lofa. That's what he can do. Selfish leader. Selfish leader. So this is where I can conclude for now, my dear brother. It's very painful. It's very painful.
to be honest with you.
Sure.
And thanks to Front Page Africa, for this investigative work. And thanks to them, this is what we call reporter. This is what we call journalism, going beyond and seeking the public's interest. That is the essence of the fourth estate. When you hear fourth estate, that is the work of the fourth estate, and that's what Front Page Africa has done. Kudos to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Pastor Success AB Dennis, this issue of the bosses. Let's hear from you, sir.
So before I proceed, Ronald, you did a mathematics. Can you give me that figure again? You said the boss is 35 pieces, and how much in total was the total value of the
So at
procurement?
$3 million, we're spending
At
in
3
total $3
million.
million. So
Yeah.
3 million divided by 35. That's how surround our figure. So because at
So it's 100 how much?
3.9 million is what we're going to pay in total the government.
Yeah, $3.9 million
Yeah.
is what they are
And
charging
then
for those
if you did the
bosses.
calculations, how much you got?
I got
100 what?
111,000 plus.
Yeah,
Because I just
111,000 plus.
I just roughly divided 3.9 million by 35 buses.
You're right. You're right. Now, the reason I'm asking for this because what determines the value of anything? It is the technical specification. So, looking at the spec that was just read, it's short distance mobility, meaning that bus is only intended from Wolosa to Douala, from Douala to Raleigh, from Raleigh to Looking Town, from Looking Town, maybe max miles could be Abel, Kakata. When you start to expand the box beyond those areas, what you're doing now, you're giving a short lifespan to
Exactly.
the box, and then it will not serve the value, the lifespan. It will not serve that lifespan, thus creating problems for the monetary value of the property. So that you buy something $10 that's lasting for 4 weeks, and instead of lasting for 4 weeks, lasting for 1 week, when you do the mathematics, you'll be shorting or certain amount of dollars. Now, that's one aspect. Another aspect is this. You see, when we talk this thing, people say, oh, you ain't like the country. These guys are just very much deceptive. And it's not good for our country. For me, I always tell people, let's put this politics aside and face what the reality is. When President William took over as a president of that country, the National Transit Authority, the NTA, brought in 45 pieces of buses. These guys were on the media and telling the Liberian people that buses will eat. These are the same people today who want us to take them to McDonald's and buy them an ice cream or buy them or vendetta shake or buy them whatever they tell you to cool their chairs for bringing 35 buses when they condemn 45 pieces of buses yesterday. When it comes to the issue of the law, the PPCC, the public procurement process of acquiring government assets. That's what they say, public procurement. Whatever the procurement does is supposed to be public. The Liberian people are supposed to see the specification of those buses, know the value of those buses before they were even brought to the country. You went and took loan from the bank, and I will also say before a government take loan from the bank, the legislator must approve that loan. Was the deal sent to the legislator to look at it? Do the Liberian people know the terms and conditions of that contract or that loan? How much do we owe EcoBank? It's the interest rate, like my brother or Dubai was saying. So you can't take the country and chunk the country into deficit without letting Liberian people know to our legislator. Is that how? For me, these things are not surprising. These people are violators. They are breakers of the law. There's no law this government I ever respected. There's no law this government have come and said, no, you listen to the PPC or boss the other day when they asked you about the yellow machine. He said our role when we went with channel to channel with the vice president is not to go and make a decision on how the procurement should be done. We want to get technical advice because when it comes to the procurement process, we have our hand inside. Are you serious? These people when they talk about the line instead of bringing 300 pieces of a bossy or wherever bossy they call it from Ghana. When noise wake up, they left those bossy. When they started with the yellow machine pre, they said they were bringing those yellow machines. The first thing we heard was it was President Buhari's friend that gave me those machines.
You guys can lie.
From friend, it came to 85 million. From 85 million, it came to 22 million. From 22 million today now, we're hearing that it is Echo Bear that is about to finance this yellow machine. So the one the friend donated yesterday, not to get back, and the Echo Bear coming to finance now. So this government is noticed of lies. They don't have integrity. So integrity is a challenge they have because they lie anytime they want to lie. They are rude. They abuse anybody they want to abuse, and they can lie. Pray. So my brother, that's a situation we find ourselves today. Nothing we can do about it. We get into content. All we need to do, we will just continue to flag this issue when they come out. Or we got into content for the next 4 more years. These are the things we were saying before the election. Like, they didn't listen. They pour us into the calamity. All right, they pour into this calamity. These people will not respect any structure in this country. They call these people to break Liberia into pieces to ensure they do what they want to do. They will do it. They will do it. President Baka breaking rules and regulations in the country is not news. It's a normal phenomenon now for this government. They live in it, they dive into it, they dwell into it. Right? So that's it. But liberation shouldn't expect much of these bosses because they will want to prove point that the behavior ever to say it's only a Regina bosses start going to Maryland. So deceptive. People wrote bosses. All right, they wrote the CNTA bosses to Maryland. We are Regina. They come here to them, make it look like the road was just completely not accessible. When President William took over as a president, he met 4 yellow machine at the Ministry of Public Works as government. What as yellow machine when you are living from there, how much did he leave there? So if the road is not flyable and accessible, we're asking question because he left enough good moving equipment that could maintain the road. So these buses were not staying on because number one, they will overuse them, and there's no proper maintenance or process in place for those buses. So they will start breaking that, and all they will give you is excuses. So far so good. That what I can say for now, though.
Thank you so much, my people. On this issue of the buses, it's unfortunate that we spend all this money behind something that is not durable. And like again, let me just join on Obodobayo to say thanks to the Front Page Africa. There are some key things that are involved or they are highlighted here about these buses that we need to understand. I just put here the Front Page Africa publication on the bus. Let me enlarge in it for us to see here. I think all of you can see it. It's very large enough we all can see. When you read this area that is highlighted here, what Liberia is receiving, 35 Tata mass transit buses. Let me answer this call quick, please. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, Liberians.
I'm sorry, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
So this is what we have here. Just look at this, my people. You just look at this place that I make very big and bold. And there is something here that you should highlight. It talks about the detail of the bus. 6-cylinder diesel, fully air ESCOM braking system, ABS anti-roll bar, this, that, blah, 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 and all the other thing. And even what is most scaring about this whole stuff here is that it is telling us that these buses that we're looking at, they can go long distances. That's why he's saying here. So this is concerning. This is scaring. They can go long distances. Yeah, right here. Just look there. Where it said diesel engine, high roof design, and design for short
And that same
distance
Prince,
mobility.
there were other buses there that can tell you the one can go far play. Then you get the other one, the one can go far play. Because you know when you go buy in the market, you can ask for things price. What they want to do,
Sure.
they want to do, they want to do that. So it's okay, give me the one that can go far. Because La Brempo bar on they can go far play. You know La Brempo bar they not get sense, so nothing cool for them. So give me the one. So it took the cheapest one, and then they can impose more money on you. That's just what it's saying in short.
Yeah. So you see, this is what is scaring. That's why we'll continue to tell you that this government, these are a bunch of crooks and they are criminals. Because it's just in a simple form. When you go to the market, my people, you go to the market to go and buy. Even those of you that can go China to go and buy, they get different category. I mean, quantity and quality that when you go for, when you want buy enough, you know that they get some level of, maybe somebody will say a discount that they can give you. It depends the one that you want buy. When you want buy quality, they also get the price that they can give you. So you see, the government when look in the market, look at the less grade one, the one that they can't even use to transport prisoner. They look at it and say, okay, but that one here will be all right for Liberian people. Imagine the Liberia that we know. You are telling us that the buses is for short distances. So when it means for short distances, it means this bus will not even run 24/7 around the clock. No, you can't. It means that it can't even run from Railway to Broad Street. Maybe it can't even make 10 trips in a day. It will have to sit down.
Because overheat,
It will overheat.
Because short distance doesn't mean because from Wallace to maybe from Wallace to City Hall is a short distance, right? So
Sure.
you say there's a short distance, I will run here 50 times a day. The reason why there's a short distance because the engine capacity, the engine ability to stay in tension, is not strong. So that is the reason why they say short distance. So
that's it.
Because you say, okay, as soon as a short distance, I'm going far play, but I'll run plenty time a day. It's still it goes against the short distance specification. Professor,
exactly,
are you getting me? Because
so I want to contribute to.
If you run between Broad Street and City Hall, maybe 50 times a day, and you try to calculate how many distance you cover, maybe it will take you all the way to one country. So that goes against the short distance specification. So it just simply means that you only go 2 trips a day. Because the hill will be hurting. You know the hill will be hurting when you pull it on long distance.
For car for London was more say your car here
but go ahead.
Yeah, and I want to buttress Mr. Dubai. So when they say short distance, like you guys already said, now because from Waterside to Broad Street short. So if you go 50 times, and if from Waterside to Broad Street is 10 miles, and you multiply 10 times 50, you know what you're talking about right there. That could be equivalent to someone go up as far as Banga. That's a long distance.
10 times 50, that 500, so that 500 to 500 miles, that's more distance there.
Yeah, right. So when you do that calculation, more or less, someone go as far as Maryland. Now, but that's not the issue. When we find the detail of that document, I'm not just talking about the contract or just the specification, but when you find the manual of that bus,
you
read the manual. I want to believe with what they just said. If this bus runs for a certain period of time, it need to rest for a certain period of time. These other buses, when I was in Africa, I was one logging company, the big logging company was here around the toast and building. We had the same Tata, but we had a Tata pickup.
Each time in fact, our boss, one of people, they kill or prince, they had a cross right in our pickup, and we're going, leaving two signs or play in the morning with the two signs to work. When on one of those kill that got failed. Because it doesn't have that the engine that what I'm say doesn't have that capacity. The horsepower of the engine is very low. They were claiming during that bus that pickup failed with a in the some of jump from inside it to jump in the bush. You don't know what we're forcing, we have the speed coming that don't know control. So I'm trying to say the bus does not have that strong engine capacity. Now this could be some of the reason why the MTA buses are breaking down. We don't use the keeping with the specification of the bus. So they shouldn't be 35% and they be bluffy around that they have done something extraordinary for the country. President riding the bus, he waving and making it so that it's a state of the art of project that was initiated. So the spec is scary. It's scary. It's seriously scary.
Wow. You know, the first thing here, I just researching something here. You know, on these Tata buses, why these Tata vehicles, commercially,
Buses.
people don't go in for it. Now, what I'm seeing here is that the engine capacity is something that is very, very, very low. It can't withstand, too much tension. That's what I'm looking at here. They just highlighted some stuff here, but maybe we'll find a time to go into it. There's so many things that is highlighted here. Wow. It said even the shape of the bus even contribute. But anyway, let me just leave this technical thing and come here, fellow Liberians. The government is not using the Liberian people money wisely. These are how criminals behave. They go to the market, instead of buying value, instead of making sure to have something that will be durable, that will serve us, they go and buy things that will not even last for long. Now you can see one of the reasons why this government kept the whole thing as a secret until they could bring the buses. So Liberians, stop jubilating over things that you don't know. We must ask the real question. Here is it. The distances, short distances. That is number one. When you look at these buses, they are not even, when you look at them in terms of safety, I mean, internal safety, it is not even safe. Do you know that these buses don't even have handrails when you're sitting on the seat? I don't want you to believe it. Let me bring the video right here. Thanks to Honorable Duwayu for putting the video in the place. Look at this. Look here. Look at these buses. Just look here. Look at the bus right here. I want you to look at this bus. Look at this. You will see that the seats, by right, they should have something like a hand, guard, or like a handrail that when you're sitting in a seat, at least you can put your hand there to relax. No, nothing like that. When you're sitting in the car, it means you will just sit with your hand in front of you like this. So in terms of, maybe relaxing your hands or so, nothing as such. Nothing. Look at it here. Nothing of such. It's not something that we are making up. Here is it right here. Right here. Here is it. You see that? You see these buses?
I got one question, Prince.
You know what the buses are used for, right? When I was with government, like one time we went Ethiopia and we're growing a few. The China girl, one of their hub in Africa, where they're producing most of the things, instead of going to produce in China, if they hub to produce material for East Africa, there's a big company there. So you go to the company site is as big as maybe double SKD, maybe 6 times. So those buses are just there when tourists come, when people come by, they take you from one compartment to another. They take you from one shop because different shop, different machine, different line area. And the people are talking about producing clothes there. They want a textile industry. China, they get one of the biggest textile industry in Africa is in Ethiopia. So these same buses will reach at the plant, the textile plant they get in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. They use these buses to take off from one gate to another, from one place to another, to hold us together like a team. We go places, you need somebody to show, start seeing. And to do sad scene,
Yeah.
you get sad guy who explaining things to you. This is what can happen. So when you hear short distance mobility, because if you in a phase, you in a factory, you control how you use these buses. You know how you use them. No matter what happens, no factory size will be to the extent that it will go against the engine carrying capacity of a particular bus. So these buses are meant like the way you get MVTC. Those buses can be in MVTC. When students come, you take them from one angle to another. And like the way you get Fender camper big. Your teachers want to leave from one class to another, and then maybe the walking distance is like 4 miles. You get inside and walk. So now you go shopping. That's what the buses are for. These are not everyday buses for citizens in a rough terrain, rough road like Liberia, where all of the road they are more like off road roads that we have in Liberia. And you bring these buses and you say, "Would you buy you ice cream at McDonald's?"
So if you even look at it, you just raised something. If you even look at these buses, in terms of internal safety, it's not even built with the kind of technology, internally that will be able to help people to balance. Look at the chair, look at the seat. My people, you just look at the seat. You look at the seat. They don't have anything to even be able to, when those of you that have traveled, when you sit in the plane, they have the belt, right, that you put around your waist there, so that in case maybe there is any kind of maybe movement in the plane, at least you can be secure. Let you forget about plane. But in some of these buses, they have the seat belt. Now, in these buses like this, they don't have the ones that you will cross, but they have the ones that you will put around your waist, so that in case there is a hard break, the seat belt can be able to hold you in that particular seat. It will hold you tight in that seat, that you will not just, fly over the other area there. When you look at these buses, they are not even equipped with those safety features. Look at it. Look at the buses. Look at them. Look here. Look in these buses. Look there. That is one. The second thing is even the technology of the buses. The technology of the buses is another thing. It's another serious thing. Now, do they have a place? For example, if the driver wants to communicate or want to pass on a message, maybe he can just sit right to his compartment there and be able to speak through the speaker or whatever. It's not there. It's not there. There's another thing. It's not even there.
So, we got a question.
Yeah.
How old are these buses? What is the model of these buses?
That is the question we should be asking, and that's why we don't even know.
So
the model of the buses is unknown.
Wednesday, we'll research based on this information and look at what research to know whether, because I don't think these buses are 2025 or 2024 buses.
No. So the model.
It's a brilliant question. It's a brilliant question.
The reason I'm asking this question.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking the question for all to pay 111,000 for a bus that more or less can be compared to these solo buses that people ride around here that don't go distances, that you get to the terminal and they want buses for the other terminal, they get to the other terminal.
Very good. Very good.
Right?
Buses there.
And then you come here, you want to brag about it. How much went into their pocket about it should be telling us. I'm not going to the director, the deputy director, the NTA, the procurement office, or the controller. How much did they pocket or they pocketed? That one should be discussing, because for each of the bus to cost 111,000, it doesn't make sense. I can't even buy the bus 25,000.
In fact, when you look at the bus, this bus have serious safety issue, even internally. Here, for example, the buses that we have, why they have the seat, but they always have this handheld rails that you can hold, at least for balance. But look at these buses.
There could be rough break. Labrador is a rainy season terrain. Sometimes the weather can be bad. Sometimes you hold hard break. The roads are not good. Imagine that road corridor between Douala and Johnson Street. Imagine that road corridor, right? It always bouncing. Imagine the road corridor, in New Jersey and all these type of places. So they don't care.
Prince, what will company?
Look at the Lexus.
What will company in the USA that I used to work with that manufacture electric buses, and nobody knows the company I'm talking about, TPI.
Yep.
For TPI to produce those buses, TPI did an architectural draft, submitted to the Department of Transport,
They did the evaluation, they sent it back, do the correction in terms of this for the safety and all the other they did everything.
Sure.
It was approved. More expect the internal safety. Because people in there, and sometimes in this, but the reason why the buses are not long distance buses, they look in that buses, you will see where people can stand and hold something. They can stand or holding something. The reason why they put it there because those buses just from one street begin to the other. So sometimes when they sit, I feel there are spaces created for people to stay. I don't know why the buses look like that. And if that be the case, that's why the internal safety is very important, right? Now you want to use this body to divert it to a long distance transportation. Like, bro, we stay for long distance transportation. We will still get long distance buses.
They don't even have a place, Pastor Success AB. They don't even have a place for persons with disability. When you look at these buses, when you look in this bus that you're looking at, they don't even have a place with person with disability. Some people, you know, they have the wheelchair. They use wheelchair to move as their mobility, you know, for mobility. You don't even have an area here in these buses that can accommodate these people. And you see what we're talking about, my people? You see what we're talking about? They don't even have it. Yeah, they don't even have it. The buses now that are built, I mean, these modern buses that are built, they are built with all of these features, taking into consideration all of these features. In fact, they have even the automatic rail that can be able to come down, that the people can be able to get on. You get on, and it brings you back off, up. I mean, the bus take you on,
Prince,
you down.
Prince.
Wow.
I know we are in the Western world. I live in the United States, Europe, and other part of the world. We look at a very high standard when it comes to this kind of public facility, which is very good. For me, I want to bury that one for now. Because when you go there, they will get excuses. My question to them is that they're telling us they Tata buses, they bought one for 111,000. Is that what they're telling the Liberian people? We will not spend enough time on the particular bus topic.
Sure.
We will not spend enough time. We will come back on Wednesday, do enough research and go deeper into the bus conversation because you can please come to think about it. You know that these school buses here, the yellow school buses in the United States is more safer and more guaranteed than the bus you're looking at.
Definitely. That's what I'm looking at.
You know I'm for one of those school buses here?
The thing is, when you look at these buses, Pastor Success, when you look at these buses, you will see internally, just from what we're looking at, it does not even have those safety equipment internally. That's the first thing. It does not even have it. They don't even have a place. I'm not seeing anywhere that they have for persons with disability, especially those who, you know, have mobility issue. Because by right, there's a public bus. All of these public buses should have it. There are some people that are going to be using wheelchair. Their only means of movement is through the wheelchair.
Prince, it depends who procuring the buses. People, if you want to procure this kind of public facility and you have value for your citizen, you will consider all of those fighters. But when you have value for your pocket over the value of your citizen, you will take anything and throw it at them. And that's what happened with the bus issue.
Wow.
All right. That's what happened with the bus issue. So why would you tell the people that you bought each of the bus at $111,000? Well, it doesn't even worth 50,000.
Yeah, okay. No, like you were saying, right? I agree with you. The bus is insensitive to a lot of demographic. You talk about blind people, yes. You talk about the buses can genuflect. That's where I agree with you. How about the elders? Those old people who most of the time are poor people can use these buses. In Liberia, we got these people from the group of 72nd. These elderly people who they some of them they're very old. They don't have the flexibility in their muscles to carry their foot up and down. So if you have a bus, a public transportation that doesn't genuflect, meaning to come down like you were talking about, to come to the level of those people, the old people, then which type of buses are these? Because these buses, only young people, you know, who flexible enough could run and get in those buses. Right? You got a bus in the modern time. The bus, firstly, you got it of a thing where you just install with your hand. You just took the blue fan, you just take you nail right there. Who does that in this type of modern time? Who does that in the modern time?
When the president was in the bus and operating with those buses, They took the president, brought him right and put the fan on. That's why I started raising eyebrow on these bosses. But right, if they know the president was riding the bus, that they as an exhibition, or maybe displaying the bus to the public, the first thing they should have done is that bus was well central AC and well, sophisticated like it's supposed to be. They should have started that bus and make sure it's well, or central AC. The AC is on and the place is well chilly for the president comfort and rather before you get it. But instead they brought him on. So I can't remember 1 second. Run 1 second. That tells me that we should not be surprised because in Liberia, sometimes what the conductors and the passengers or the driver do is that they overcrowd the bus because they want more money. And if they start to do that, and the kind of environment we got in that brother, where the heat can be very well, very, at the high temperature. Trust me, people will fit in that bus someday. People will fit in that bus. Yeah, go ahead,
I agree with you. The reason why they put the president, they jeopardized his security. They put him to the window because they were on showmanship. They wanted to show off. So you say Liberia program was so tough, it was difficult. Liberia needed to be rescued. We had buses that were more sophisticated than the ones you bring. How can you not be parading with buses if buses were not an issue? If the government was a giga-free government, empty-headed, we knew nothing. So we brought buses. For you now who know everything, you very much sophisticated. How do you even parade with buses? The job we have men who don't know anything, brought the buses. He only turned it over to the citizen. He didn't have to go and do showmanship. So
but brother, understand, brother, let me differ with you on our part a little bit. Understand too now. Understand too, right? When you are fighting to meet a benchmark at a very, very of high level, every little thing you do, you want to show to the public that you're doing something. All right? President William has caused a serious problem for that country. He caused a serious problem for the politician. He set a benchmark of national development that is very high. So when these people come, they want to support President William record. The first thing the menu had to understand is that the king, the boss, the bro, they are new manufacturer. That's why I'm so concerned on the model of that buses, because they say it's a new brand bus from the factory president. We have brought used buses. That's what the argument they raise. So they want to prove point now that they brought new buses, but how old is those? I mean, what is the model, right?
And you see,
the manual of that bus, bring the specification of that, but let know how old are these buses. Right. So President making morale, he brought buses, so he's already with that new to him.
What I'm even looking at in these buses, these fans, they are not even safe for people who will be riding. Assuming that somebody wake up, especially in Liberia, there, some of our sisters, somebody wake up and unfortunately their hair get tangled around or enter that particular fan. Because that thing, it has a kind of opening on it. Even though it's covered, but the cover or the whatever they have around it, it has some level of opening. So assuming that somebody,
that's the van. You have to put the air out.
So assuming that somebody is just standing by, and the fan from on the other side blow their hair, and their hair enter in that particular fan, mean that trouble right there. Or assuming that somebody with disability wants to stand, and the way the fan is positioned, he there and he put a hand up, mistakenly his finger go between that thing. That's another problem right there. So even the position of the fan that they put in that thing is not even safe. It's not even safe.
We now move to another topic. We have to go deeper into the bottom Wednesday. We'll do more research on our bottom Wednesday and discuss it.
We will do that. We will do that on a Wednesday. We'll ask some of the questions from behind the scene and see how best we can be able to, to something this thing. But I want us to talk about this. I don't know, but we'll talk about it because some of these people, they make the news. We can't take it from them. Honorable Edwin Melvin Snow presented a case in the House that he was confronted by someone that told him that there was a gambling center at the LBS. So he said before the House that he wanted for the House to be able to, carry on an investigation to ascertain whether it was, truth or not. While we were in the process of waiting for the house to confirm or, be able to deny that, Eugene Fagon, who is the LBS boss, entered the country on Sunday and decided to take his camera straight to the LBS to show to the world that Edwin Melvin Snow, the senator, and others were lying on him, that there were no gambling center or there was no equipment as far as gambling is concerned at the LBS. But even in his ignorant display, we saw what happened. And I just want to show
I mean,
few.
there's a feedback I'm hearing. Who's that? Is that Randall or me?
Yeah,
No,
maybe
it's from Randolph.
You're not
maybe
mute.
let me handle that.
It's from Randolph. So I just want to play this. Let me just get this and play this just for a second. Okay. And I want y'all to see just few seconds and then we'll cut this off.
Started? It started running already. You don't know?
So this is Fagon trying to disprove that there are no gambling center around the place there. I will carry in front. And there were some very bad words that was used here, causing the behind power of people, minister for that matter, in
You know, I wish that I was
at the
around.
LBS. So let me just carry in front.
I will answer the people on Tuesday. Any employee listening to fire.
So he threatened that he will fire employees.
I got nothing to happen. Nobody. I will answer the people on Tuesday. Any employee listening to fire.
So I will carry in front.
When you were there,
Okay. So this is where I want us to come just for a few minutes and then
I'm ready for you. That where the how you call that people, the National Lottery Authority. One can sit down here. Then I think the Justice Ministry or Finance Ministry or the Task Force won't sit down there. Yeah, then oh, LRA one, National Authority, Lottery Authority one. Lottery people one. They sit there. It's meant for transparency. Our crew then ain't see them up there. That way our crew then can be correct. Yes. Now, the other people that brought in here. Now, what they can do to do the draw? Show it come out of me. When they're doing the draw, they get a room by where all the things also be inside the room. When they're doing the draw, they think where else is standing here. They do it with people witnessing for transparency. So they can say, yeah, they see them there. Can they see them? So they can say, oh, y'all went choose certain person number, certain person. I don't have the damn vehicle to put TV crew every day to where the people off here say 18th Street.
now I just want to pause this here so that we can have the time to just talk on this. As the sources A.B. Dennis, in an attempt to refute or deny the comment made by Edwin Melvin Snow that they do not have a gambling center at the LBS, Fagon took his own camera and went there and started to display all of these things. Those things that we saw covered, they are almost like I don't know the name, but they are some of these how you call, I don't know, like these things that they have at the casino. He stood down there and insulted people, including the house, and said they are lack of morals and etc. According to him, that place is just a place where the people will go and use for 15 minutes. It's now a gambling center. I know you saw the video. What is your take on this entire video stuff with Fagon trying to disprove the allegation of Edwin Mervyn Snow?
So, in the very first place, Prince, thank you very much. Anything that have to do with guessing, that have to do with casting lot, that has to do with quote unquote lottery, that gambling. One raffle involved that gambling. So I don't know what Fascon try to justify. It's a gambling center. The only reason why they take it from they modify the name is when it is not unknown a government jurisdiction, you're doing it in a clandestine form, they call it gambling. But when you take it from that state and bring it to everywhere, you try to legalize it, whatever, then it becomes lottery. Right? So the casinos we see already are already owned government, but they are gambling center. All right. So he went down there to say, oh no, it's not gambling, but it's lottery. So I don't get it. Now, number two, let's look at the professionalism of the LBS Director General. You are one of the mouthpieces of the government. You are a leader. You preside over the state media institution. The legislators are not obligated to create check and balance on the executive branch of government. So, if a senator hear and intelligent and flag it, you return. If you are so intelligent and know what they call diplomacy and change of command or procedure, you will not go that challenge to start using invaders on people and saying that if any employee, or whatever they do, you will fire them. You're threatening people job because you are opportune to serve in a capacity as a director general of LBF. That's ingenious. All right. But these are the result, Prince, when you have unprofessional people working in an area where they are not trained and disciplined in.
Sure.
There is still a liberty when she was over there. She couldn't make that kind of childish statement. All right. When professional people are over area that they are trained in place of area of their expertise or their where they were trained in, you will not have this kind of statement coming out. Now, Eugene Falcon should control his emotion and don't dwell on what has happened between he and Snow in Town Park until he can use the LBS situation to get a Snow and at the end of the day start insulting people. When you play that video to the end, because I listen to it to the end, he said more terrible thing. He called the SBO worker Hopojo, excuse me for the expression, but that's exactly what he used. Your guys will pay about 11, so I said, no, cheers will be 10. They talk at 10 o'clock. Your Hopojo thing, what you're on here. Are you serious? But again, Prince, it's not surprising. Leadership is spiritual. What the boss does, it goes down the wire, the bell. That's why when you're a leader, you have to be careful. I'm going to believe the Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism is the chairperson of the board of directors for LBS. I stand to be corrected, but I know by the other established the LBS that what it's supposed to be. Right? Now, you saw the Minister of Information tend to causing ministry. Minister causing, the deputies are causing, so he has filtered down to LBS. And nothing will come out of April. Nothing said they will call for going and asking questions. Nothing will come out of it. These guys are just who they are. They are very much addicted to rudeness, to disorderly conduct. And that's what they are displaying. But who did this thing in our administration and he was fired? He was fired because he misbehaved. Morgan be a blind behind. But thank God he's with the right government. The government is noted for abusing state officials and nothing come out of it. But what Fagon would not tell, what Fagon would not insult the horse rather. Why would he not insult the legislator? Were we not yet when Fatima came out and said, "Oh, that was denigrating about former president we are and other state leader prior to her confirmation hearing, she insulted another female on show. She threatened that when she go to the house to deal with her, which today she is confirmed. Integrity is at there at the House of Legislature. So anybody can say anything about them. And exactly what happened in Prince. So Fagon is right. Fagon cannot do the honor a mature government. The immature guys, the guys who have no regard and integrity for our country, that came to power as a result of lies and the propaganda. Fagon will survive with them. Fagon will survive. And that's why he's doing what he's doing. Right?
Yep.
Fagon went to Fagon went just before that, and Fagon got appointed over there. This is not the first time Fagon having issue with LBS. Fagon had issue with the worker union over there when the people want to speak. He fired the president of the worker union. All right? He fired the president of the worker union. Fagon calling his able deputies, high school dropout on public media. He that surviving on AA, you want to question people surviving, or being high school dropout. But however, print that what we are. I want to pause on that for now.
My man.
Thank you. Honorable Dubayu.
Yeah, they Fagon come back here again, Prince. But since I think you got interested in Fagon, we're discussing because I realized I think Fagon is on me. Because I don't know what governor.
Oh, for Dubayu that Fagon man, yeah.
Yeah, because last week when you're on the show, Pastor, we discussed you talk about Fagon Bene, I downplay it. You know, I just trash it, rubbish it because garbage in, garbage out. But maybe, you know, my man Prince tonight, I mean, one of me, let country for some minutes. So that is called Fagon.
But you know, the people are neighbor now, Fagon from Bombi, the man from Cayman, so the man has described me.
You know, these people, their behavior.
It's first thing, yeah, you come in.
Impact.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I see uniformity, first thing, I see commonality and similarity. Commonality and similarity. Something can be common between you. Sometimes something can be common, it can be similar. Sometimes it be similar, it can be common. There's commonality and similarity got slight connotated difference. So Bwaka and Eugene Fagon, they got some commonality. They share Bomi as a common era where because Eugene Fagon is from Bomi, Bwaka wife is from Bomi. Commonality right? Now, similarity is that Bwaka was dismissed for ineptitude for corruption by a government that was seen to be a Janjaweed government, though government. Fagon too has been dismissed for rudeness and lack of capacity and strength. Similarity. So the both people, they got something in common and they got something similarly. So that being said, now I see the reason why, some of the reasons why, you know, Fagon was appointed. Bwaka believes in conspiracy theory. He believes in unsubstantiated saying and loose talking. You know, when you say, "Allah, bro, go to war when you not win," he talks loosely. Fagon too talks loosely. So these people, they got something bringing them together. Now, on the issue about Fagon, you know, wasting our time talking aren't nonsense. Let me first say the character of Fagon. He's a high-functioning client. He's a client. Those in America who work with people with mental disability or people who have intellectual disability will know that there are some people in America here, Prince, and so say like you know it. You know, I don't know. I did some training in that field, but I decided to pursue it. You know, working with people with those type of abilities. And there are some people who, in a 24-hour period a day, they are not capable of making 24-hour decisions for themselves. Maybe in the last 2 hours of the day, the first 2 hours, or in the middle of the day, somewhere, something can trigger their behavior is mood controlled. The mood, the attitude of the sun and the atmosphere can determine their behavior, and it will just go off here. But these people, when that time pass, you see them behave normal. They are half-functioning people. And this wasn't autism. Yeah, autism got different category. autism got different category. Those who are extremely autistic that people you can see other people money in. Even so, there are some clients in America that I know. You don't have people catering to them until maybe 2 or 3 times a month because it's somewhere in between there they are higging pap. Some people don't have that capacity. So Eugene Falcon, if you do his mental evaluation, you got to realize that Eugene Falcon doesn't have the ability to properly conduct himself in a 24-hour period. It's involuntary. Eugene Falcon himself can't help it. He needs external partners to help him. He needs somebody outside his body frame to help him because he's a victim of himself. That's who Eugene Falcon is. A man who will come to America, a land of vast opportunity, and a man nourish the passion to invest into AA. He got a remonstrance of AA. He got continuance of AA. He go back home and he wants to argue with serious people. How do you waste your time on such a human being? A man who comes to disprove that the era is not a gambling era, but he's discussing gambling using different terminology. So they play not playing gambling, they play that lottery. Patrick Sosa defined that very eloquently. If it is illegal, not in government domain, government doesn't have that regulatory oversight, they will call it illegal gambling. In fact, that's how they will call it. The casino area, you can never see a registered casino area say gamble center. The act of going to a casino, first thing gambling is venturing into a situation where the outcome rests on probability and uncertainty. Once the outcome of a certain event or situation or action being performed, you vesting your interest, your energy, your time, and resources into something, but the outcome is based on uncertainty and probability. Or we say hard luck. Nobody can tell me they practice gambling and they master it. Can master gambling. So the probability is uncertain that this will happen. Once you venture into that, that's gambling right there. So going and doing raffle draw, there's no surety that S, Y, and Z name will be called to win a raffle. That's gambling. It's just that it's regulated. It's formal. So I don't know what Eugene Falcon's definition and understanding of gambling is. Assume what he's saying not true, and you know that true. Or I mean, what he's saying, yeah, that's it. But from his own mouth, he uttered that people doing Obojo where what, not sexual gambling there. No, let that lead to him, because if you go hire B for you to have sex, you don't know the person STD, sexually transmitted disease status, or STI, sexual infection. Sexually transmitted infection starter. You don't know the person sexual starter. You go and open up to the person. You're not sexual gambling over there. Let's assume where
But even Randall, they agree that those things are happening. Let's play the devil advocate here. Let's agree those things are happening in ABA. Professionalism does not permit the ABA boss to come the way he came on the media. You stay on media, on video, and you're discussing your male and female employee of having.
That's what Pastor, I'm not cutting you over. It's grounded in the premise of my presentation. I said this character person that he doesn't have that mental stability. He needs mental re-evaluation or evaluation. For you to serve a public domain, you must have some sort of mental stability. I challenge everything in this world. I will resign my position in CDC. If you bring a psychiatrist, you bring people who are well lessened to check people's functionality with their brain cell, to see whether his cerebral and his cognitive, to see whether it's functioning, to see whether he's a full human being, fit and competent to make 24-hour decision. I'll resign my position from the CDC. I believe from the behavior, the posture, the attitude, the utterances, and the comportment of Eugene Falcon, I believe he's not a normal human being. And you hear in America, there are clients who are very eloquent. Don't be deceived. Autistic characters are very smart people. You know, there's some part of their brain that will make them to remember things, memorize, and recite things. Those things are only coming from the mind, not from the heart. There's a difference when you speak from the mind and when you speak from the heart. So Eugene Falcon in that category, that's why I say he's not a normal guy. He needs help. And I think on this one, empathy with Eugene Falcon, he's not a normal guy. He's not a normal guy, man, who was sitting instant on what does more eating the man food and causing the man. That's somebody that do. You on somebody's shoulder and say your arm stink. Like Eugene Falcon. So he's not a normal guy. Eugene Falcon just want to validate the power in me vested. Arrogance. You see it radiating from him. The arrogance in Eugene Facon is deeply tattooed in his DNA. It's like a disease from birth that has no cure. Eugene Facon is a victim of himself. I picture him. This is my conclusion.
I think you people rightly place it. But there are a few things I want to talk about in that particular video. The first thing is that video shows that Joseph Numa Boyka doesn't have a moral. Because one thing I'm looking at is the consistent usage of, vulgarity by his official. And he feels very comfortable with it. Take, for an example, Anthony Kesely, another fool that is seated at the executive mansion with Joseph Numa Boyka, that will come on the social media and insult people mother. I mean, as old as Anthony Kesely is, will cause people man. Real man cause. Liberian will cause people man. And there are no actions taken against him. So Boyka enjoys that kind of behavior. When you look at, of recent, what happened with Fagon, it is not strange. Boyka encouraged this kind of attitude. Look at the Ministry of Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. The people that are responsible to propagate government agenda, government policy, government program, they will use the platform to insult people, to insult other political leaders. And at the end of the day, nobody will caution them. Nobody will tell them, say, look, the thing you're doing is not correct. You can't do this on this platform. If you want to do it, go to your house and go do it. So Joseph Numa Boyka encouraged this kind of attitude. He feels so excited. He feels happy that people are insulting other people, other political leaders, using the taxpayer money platform, forgetting to know that that place is not his personal area. You say, I'm a horse here, so therefore I can do or say anything. That place is for the Liberian people. We pay for it. Our money is there. So for these people to use this platform and insult other political leaders or other leaders in the community without Joseph Numa Boyka doing anything, he appoints them. So he's excited that these people are really vulgarity on other people. He's excited. That's why you see Fagon is even brave to go to that place and call our mothers, our sisters, that they are using the vehicle, they should park it 10 o'clock and they're using it for Hopojoti. Fagon understand his function. Now, when it comes to information dissemination, it's just so stupid and so comical that you will tell people to park car 10 o'clock. Now, whenever the news comes, whether it is 1 o'clock in the morning, it is 2 o'clock in the morning, how do you expect these people to go and get the news? Let's even put ourselves in this position. Assuming that you and I was assigned at the place, the LBS, and there are certain information that we need to get, or somebody call you and say, hey, my man, there is a breaking news somewhere. So how do you expect these people to go there? So you want them to walk to go? Now, when it comes to using the vehicle, I think the only thing that we should say and that vehicle should be restricted on, it should not be used for any private, how you call, activities that we can understand. But to say you get at 10 o'clock, the vehicle will park here. You think the news is sleeping? That's why you see things are happening the way it is happening. So you have, for example, a Fagon who don't understand the news, who don't know what the news is. He think by sitting down and talking with loud mouth that news for him. But right, the news happen 24 hours. The people should be out there to collect the news 24 hours. But when you have a government that is not responsible, very irresponsible, have nothing to tell the Liberian people, so that's what will happen. In other words, Fagon is telling the people, your news people, y'all go sleep. And the news doesn't sleep.
The man they're kissing all on the street. The man who is he kissing.
I always say this to people, right? Well, in school, the people told us that high school, that there are 3 branches that are responsible to run the government. They have the judiciary, the legislative branch, and the executive branch. But as I grow up and I enter the university and other area, I got to know that not only 3 branches we have. Even though those other branches may not be named, but they are very vital. I know that the press is part of it. I know that the religious community is part of it. These people also run the state. They run the government. They contribute towards the running of government. So what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, if people behavior are not reflecting any good moral, then these people, they don't even need to be in the government space. They don't. That's why you see we as people, we also hold the religious people with high standard. Why you think people can say, oh, pastor? The man is not a minister. The man is not appointed by the government. But when he makes mistake, we say, oh, pastor. Because we look at them in the society to be people of high moral that contribute towards our life, that have impact, that when they say, we obey and we respect. Now, to see Fagon standing down there, using all of these abusive languages, and you have a deacon. That's why I want to come. You have a deacon of a church. Sunday morning while you're in the church, you get your minister cursing people, our mothers calling them Hopojo. Do you know what it means? You know what it means? And you feel comfortable, deacon. You feel comfortable. Let even leave it or you being the president. But you deacon, you feel comfortable that the man you've appointed to serve as your mouthpiece at LBS is calling other women, other people mothers, other people wife, Opojo. So you think it's okay. But again, Boyka will do nothing about this. For that man to stand at the LBS and say, look at the other man, he talking from his anus instead of talking from his mouth. He said it. The man talking from his anus instead of talking from his mouth. These are scaring. These are the kind of people we expect to run the government. It is scary. If Fagon, who said he was going to deny or you're going to refute the claim that there was no gambling center, you went there to only go show ball. You see how the guy's stupid? You went there to go show football, to go show ball, what they can use to play the Sunny. Then he's telling us the excuse that he is giving is that he is not able to put people in car to carry them to the people office and bring the people back. You see the level of stupidity? So you are not able to put people in car to carry them to the place, as if the car transport or the gas is coming from your pocket, as if they are not budgetary allocation, as if these people don't contribute towards you carrying your people and bringing them back. You see some of the things that we're talking, my people. So Fagon is not able to put people in car for 15 minutes because according to him, the people will just be there for 15 minutes. For 15 minutes to go to the Liberian Lottery office and go and cover the program. But it's able to take the gamble center and bring it right to LBS. My people will finish, you. But we are not surprised. Like we told you the last time. Joseph Numa Boyka is a serious gambler. His children are involved into these things. So what do
And
you
for
expect?
information, quick Prince, for information, we were told that that center, the key major shareholder of that center is Tata and Jojo.
Well, we said it from day one. It is not strange. Joseph Newman Boyka, kids were operating this club and supporting him. So it's not strange. It is not strange at all. Well, fellow Liberian, that's where we find ourselves. When you have a man who will come and insult to the extent that telling even the lawmaker, telling Edwin Snow that in fact you are using a phone to do pornography, and say, and this time I get contract now, where you call Lone Star say, and you can be doing your phone, and your phone you can be using to be having pornography, you will see. Look at that kind of thing. Telling the man, and you take how you call a woman and you go parade with her down there, you think we know you're cooking in the kitchen, you are in brief. But let's see what becomes of this whole episode. Let's see what becomes of it. But from all indication, a man like Fagon is not even supposed to be near the LBS. But again, if he is there, I will not be surprised because the man who appointed him has proven to us that he has no moral. No moral. If people can steal from his office and these people stay there, if people can look at last time, stealing from students, scholarship fund, and these people are stay around. So what do you expect? If his own nephew at the Ministry of Internal Affairs can commit a serious rape and still be there, what do you expect? If Queen Johnson on video will contribute immensely towards unaliving our own brother only because of his political affiliation. And today she has an appointment. So what? Well, my people, all we can say is that we wait and we see. But the success AB Dennis, whatever you have on your mind, let's hear from you, and that will be your parting comments. What you have on your mind, what you
Uh,
think.
Thank
Let's
you,
hear from
Prince, and thank you, our listeners, our audience, and those that help share, our podcast today. We want to say thank you so much. Prince, nothing much again to be said. We have said it all. This government have an agenda, and that agenda is to rescue themselves. These government officials are cognizant that they are not coming back in 2029, so they're doing everything they can to wreck our nation and leave us in agile poverty. But we will ensure that they have Liberians to contend with. We will ensure that their clandestine act that are, they carry on in this government will unearth them, like we have done to the Foya project that is still an angelic project today, angelic in a sense that probably a draft from heaven and angel project, they put it down and they left. Well, the computer name is unknown, the financial rather name are unknown, and so on. We will not rest. We will be here every day to bring the reality to our people. Our silence is also a disadvantage to the Liberian people. Because if we remain silent and the Liberian people, are victimized of this government, clandestine act, our conscience will not serve us right. We will be guilty of ourselves because we refuse to speak out. So we will continue to speak out, but we just want to let you know, folks, for the United Party, we have not forgotten about you guys' way of governance. You can lie. You are veteran roles and looters. We saw it in the 12 year. You left that country with nothing, and you are doing same today. But
thank you.
that what it is, we hear and we provide the necessary information all of the time. But again, as I close, this boss issue, we should not let it go. One of those bosses I defy the LTA authority to produce evidence that the boss, one of that boss, 111,000. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, and hope to see you again on Wednesday.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Dowayu, let's hear from you, sir.
So this issue that is on my mind, we will make it maybe one of the talking points. Sometimes this week is the issue between Gosingbe Kafwan, the finance minister, and the very ambitious and power-greedy vice president Jeremiah Kun. As I speak to you, there is serious, intense fight. They are desperate, equistate about their individual respective replacement or replacing of Joe Bwaka. I don't know who told them Joe Bwaka not contesting. Joe Bwaka left power. I'm very sure Joe Bwaka will still want to contest. But in their elusive state of mind, they are fighting, and their individual ego is overshadowing their desire to dispense sound governance for the state. And so when you see the economy of the state is struggling, is taking picture and nose diving, it's because the Gafwan has accused the finance minister of overreach, the vice president who doesn't have any technical and professional background whatsoever in this war, purport himself to be on some other committee and say he on price stabilization and economic committee, and he's presenting bad recommendation that is helping to handicap the state, and the fiscal and monetary challenges be clouding the state. It's so heavy that a ordinary human pass setup from Nima County is able to just solve in the mind of Kafwan. And in the mind too of Kun believes that Gafwan did not contribute to the struggle. He was lying down to the African, I think either African Development Bank or some other bank in East Africa or so. Somewhere in East Africa, World Bank, he was there as country director or something. He did not have any major contribution. He want to create an avenue that he's the arrowhead to replace Baka. So I don't care about their ego and their lack of discipline. I don't care about their nonsense and their blind ambition. But when you preside over our state and your action is inadvertently or, or indirectly affecting the function of the state, the governance of the state, and the mass of the base of the people suffer as a result of your reckless behavior, then I'll put my mouth in it. So putting our mouth into this now because the Unity Party, all they think about is power. They don't think about governance. They don't think about the rule of law. They don't think about the American State Department MCC report just came out, and they were seen to fail massively in government effectiveness. You fail in the rule of law. You fail access of credit. You fail. Job opportunity. You fail massively. Natural resources. You marketing our resources. This is not bothering you, Unity Party. What is bothering you is 2029. Think the Labrador stupid really like you. You gotta lead our country, deliver on your funny RS agenda, and stop your elusive top party and stop that joking. For us, it doesn't surprise us, but you are leading our state. You must act like state actors. This is what on my mind. I think we can expand on this maybe Monday or Friday, my dear brothers. Thank you very much for today's show, fellow Liberians. I appreciate your listening audience. It's precious to us. We cannot pay you for listening to us and trusting us with your intelligence, with your mind. Now anybody can listen to listen to somebody, mean you trust that person with your intelligence. It means you believe in the person's ability to say something that will please your listening appetite. So I appreciate you for putting trust in us. Thank you very much.
On this note, fellow Liberians, we want to use this time to say thanks to each and every one of you for listening from across the various platforms. We want to say thank you so much. We will be here on Wednesday. Join us same time on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time for another fascinating discussion. Again, let's keep the discussion going on because where we are as a people, we must continue to expose ills in society. We must continue to ensure that this government is exposed. They lie to the Liberian people to reach here and they continue to lie. We should not sit and allow this to happen going unchecked. On this note, we want to say thank you. God bless you. And until we meet again, my people, have yourself a God blessed day and join us with the platform, the King's Hour, on Face the Issue with Abraham Godson William. Bye from our end.
I won't be a period when I show one time. That show